I think, because I've seen a lot of people when they've walked in, they've just gone, wow. You're watching the Manx Inside Venues at Band on the Wall, and I'm Mr Scruff. It's been through three kind of drastic changes since I've known it as a venue. Initially, it was just this corner plot on Swan Street. More like a pub venue, pub with a stage. It was really cosy. They had lots of a reputation for like jazz and blues. They had a reggae night every Friday night. That closed in about 2004. Over the next 5 years, slowly it had an extension and kind of knocked through into the building next door. Became a bit more of a kind of polished venue, but still retained a lot of that original character. And then 2 years ago it closed again for another extension, extended quite a lot back this way. We're on the stage at the moment. The bar next door has had a complete transformation. That's now got a little cabaret venue at the back. Sound system's even better. I think, because I've seen a lot of people when they've walked in, they've just gone, wow, because they're familiar with how it was. That first impressions are always great here, you know what I mean? And obviously there'll be a load of people, especially younger generations who haven't really been out for the last couple of years, who are coming in here for the first time. And I think, for a successful venue, you have to have a mix of regulars and fresh blood, first timers, a mix of generations, a mix of different types of music, because then it keeps it inspiring and everyone's interacting with new people. But I think just in terms of the potential that this venue has now, I think there's potential for bigger gigs, but also for that little room next door. I'm so excited about that. A little 80 capacity dance floor, get some little club nights on in there, proper, really contained, because a lot of DJs especially like playing in really small, tight, intimate spaces with a good sound system, you know what I mean? And in there, there's a great sound system. The dance floor, the bar's really separate from the dance floor, which I think in a venue, the bar and the dance floor need to be as far apart from each other. You go in that end to dance, you go in that end to chat, and then people just going to be like, I'm in the zone here, this sounds amazing. Just physically expressing yourself with a load of like-minded people. It's just, as you can tell, I'm quite excited about it. But it's amazing. We've missed it, but I think in terms of obviously the pandemic and their closure happening at the same time, they couldn't really have timed it better. Well, Keep It Unreal, which is my residency, it started off in '99. It started at a club on Oldham Street called Planet K. Then it moved to the Music Box, which is on Oxford Street. That used to be called Rafters back in the 70s, a legendary venue, home to the Electric Chair and Drama and so many other amazing nights. So that ran from like 2000 up to 2009 there. Then when that club closed, then we moved here to Band on the Wall, which was quite soon after it reopened. So that was quite good timing wise. I've been here ever since, you know what I mean? And obviously prior to moving my night here, I've been to lots of nights here, Eyes Down, a ton of reggae nights. I remember seeing, Ayrton Moreira play here, Azimuth, so many legendary people. Fat Freddy's Drop, I think, did their first gig here to about 30 people. So yeah, it's always felt kind of homely, and people are kind of invested and feel like the venue is kind of like partly theirs, you know what I mean? That's kind of something that's really important as well, that people feel a bit of ownership and like, oh, I'm really fond of this venue and I have a lot of memories, but also like, I know there's a lot more good nights out and experiences to come. My first ever DJ gig was at Atlas Bar, so whenever I walk past there, it's like, I remember in 1994, I used to do there every Saturday, you know what I mean? Dry bar, where my friend Barney, he was just like, right, you've got records, you playing there on, so he gave me a gig in Dry Bar. Martin the Mod, one of my first gigs in Manchester was at the Smithfield next door on a Sunday night with Martin. That was in '94. Other places, PSV had some great nights out there. Man Alive, places like the Planet, which was behind Boots, just off Market Street. Precinct 13. This is like way back in my kind of early clubbing days, just kind of coming out and experiencing for real a lot of the music that I've been hearing on the radio, because I grew up in Stockport, so I was hearing all the people like Stu Allen, a lot of the DJs on Sunset Radio. So people who were too young to experience the culture for real were getting it first hand from these people, and obviously all the Pirates, Soul Nation and WBLS and stuff like that. People in Manchester are very resourceful. We have to be, especially in these ages of kind of price rises and gentrification and city centre living and bars opening everywhere, you know, if you want to put on a night out without disturbing people, you know, obviously night and day being an example, you know, people will move next door or above a venue and then complain about it. But yeah, the spirit is strong and there's a lot of support for these venues, and you know, I think the resourcefulness and the spirit has been, is and will always be there in Manchester.